just went to my first doctor appointments ever as an adult, and he's gonna ask me how much I smoke, and so I say, oh, you know, I smoke a couple times throughout the day, and he's like, okay, well, how much though? And I'm like, I don't know, like 1.7 grams, like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, well, you need to quit smoking. And I was like, God, well, that fucking sucks. Then the motherfucker tells me that I have to quit eating spicy foods. That is more upsetting than marijuana. I'm sorry. I'm fucking addicted to sriracha. I love sriracha. I put it on every single thing. No, I will not. May I have a medium sugar-free vanilla iced coffee, please? And may I do that with no cream? And can I do that with a shot of espresso added to it, please?
Okay.
And a pump of caramel. Just one pump. I'm on a diet. And that'll be it today.
Would you like to round that up and make it an even $3 for charity this morning?
Sure.
$3 out the window. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Here I come. No spicy. That angered me. I said, why? And he said, well, because you may have a stomach ulcer. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of concerning. But I told him, I said, I love sriracha. I put it on every single meal I eat. And he was like, yeah, that may explain your nausea in the morning and all that. And I'm like, I'm bamboozled. I had no idea. I thought I could just eat spice. Is this what it's like getting older? Is this what it's like being almost 30? I'm not almost, well, I am. I'm 25. There's no denying it. I'm almost 30. But God damn it. That sucks. I love spicy food. I love sriracha. I love sriracha. And then he says I have to quit eating fast food and fatty foods and all that. I don't know. Does coffee count? I don't know. All I know is if he tells me to quit coffee, then I'm going to have a full-blown BF. I will literally write a letter to his boss. It's dollar bills. Come get her. Oh, thank you. Even your man know Nikki do it better. I know you don't like me. I did forget to wear a mask at the last window, and I don't want you motherfuckers trying to cancel me. People make mistakes, okay? Oh, shit. Hi there.
Happy to have me dressed in.
You too. Thank you, honey. Oh, I can't focus. Oh, this is going to be delicious. Off you go. Off with your head. I'm still on this topic the other day of like the time change and stuff. Like it's just not making sense to me. And I don't give a fuck it was for the farmers. I don't give a fuck who invented it or what it was for. It's just not making sense that we can just all agree to mutually change the time and we all play pretend that we fell back an hour. No. Because it's 12:04 right now on my clock. So you mean to tell me that it should be 1:04? Like, it's not making sense. And then they do it because they want like the extra hour of daylight in the morning. So they want more sunlight in the morning. And so they take the extra hour off at night. Fuck that. I think that it should be laid out until like 6:30. And then I don't give a fuck who wakes up at 7 in the morning and if it's sunny and bright out for you or not. Why are you up that early? Go to sleep. Nothing's making sense. And then, what? Like, do dogs and cats and squirrels and animals understand the time change? Did anybody tell them? Well, no, because they don't know what time is. They literally don't know what the word time means because they're animals. Like, they're basically like living off instinct. Like, this is a coffee. They don't understand that word coffee. They don't know that word coffee. This is a chicken nugget. You can be like, here's a chicken nugget. I mean, they'd eat it, but just because instinct and, you know, it smells good, but then they don't know what's a chicken nugget. They don't know what a chicken is because they don't know what the word chicken means. They don't know what the word eat means. Like, they just do it. They just do it with no meaning to anything. So, like, I'm confused. Do Amish people set their clocks back? Do Amish people even have clocks? Do they know what time it is? Does somebody tell them that we like just change time all the time? I'm using sweet chili and Cajun sauce as my dipping sauce today because I have a whole stash of it hidden. It's just not making sense to me. And then there's like, wait, what? I'm bamboozled. Everything's fake. We made everything up. Like, so if time's fake and it's an illusion, money is fake and we can print more money. And I don't care what I don't want to hear anyone's fucking bullshit in the comments. Nah. If we print more money, inflation. No, because we made it up. We made the word inflation up. We made money up. If tomorrow, if we all want to start trading barbecue sauces from McDonald's as a new fucking currency, everyone would just start doing it, and we change the matrix. We change it. So don't fucking tell me that we just can't print more money, and it is not fucking making sense. So I don't want to hear your capitalist propaganda shit on why we can't print more fucking money. Do you think fucking cavemen, like, in the Switzerland mountains know what money is right now? No, they're just living their best fucking life being cavemen. Shut the fuck up.
She tried to kill and replace me out of jealousy. So I was in middle school, and I would say I was one of the popular kids. Everyone liked me, and I made everyone laugh. Tons of boys chased after me as well, but there was one girl who didn't like me. Let's call her Agnes. Agnes was a part of a group of bullies, but the friend group liked me. She just didn't. Sometimes she would make fun of me and tease me. I'm not going to lie, it bothered me, but I didn't care. So we each had one period where we knew of each other, but we didn't have any friends in that period. So I decided, why not try and befriend her? I then walked up to her and said hi, and I said, why don't you like me? She just looked at me in shock. She told me she didn't dislike me. So then I asked her if we could be friends, and she said, okay. We got along so well. We continued being friends, but she got a little obsessive over time, I'm not gonna lie. She would want to hang out every day and would throw a hissy fit if I had plans or wanted time for myself. One day, she came over and asked if she could wear one of my shirts, and I agreed. Then she changed her hairstyle and started talking like me. We both laughed. And then the next day at school, she literally looks like me. And you will not believe what happened next. Come back for part 2. The next day at school, I thought she looked just like me. She wore the same hairstyle as me, the same makeup, the same shirts. I don't know how she got the same shirt as me. And she wore the same shorts style, but in a different color. She walked up to me in a chirpy manner and said, hey, Annalise. I said hi back. I was confused, though. She wore goth clothing. This was nothing like her. So my usual group of friends came up to me and said hello, and they said, hello, who's this? And I said, Agnes. They all looked and shocked. One of the girls said she looked cute, and Agnes said thank you. So my group of friends told me that we were going to a skating rink later and if I wanted to come, and I agreed. They asked if Agnes could come too, and I said yeah. So after that, she kept hanging out with us repetitively, and I didn't really have an issue with it. I liked that she was becoming a new positive person, but she was still so clingy to me. She wanted to hold hands with me all the time, which was really annoying. So then one day, she asked me if I can go to her house alone. I've never been to her house before, and I don't like going to new people's houses alone, but I decided to go anyways. What was the harm? So I went to her house, and you will not believe what happened next. Come back for part 3. So I don't usually go to people's houses first time by myself. I usually go with a friend or two, but I decided to go anyways. So when I got there, everything was fine. Her house was clean. It wasn't dirty or anything like that. It was a little too clean. It was kind of weird, but I just brushed it off. I asked where her parents were, and she said they were working at the moment. I was like, oh, okay, do you know what time they get home? And she said she didn't know, which was kind of weird. So we ended up going to her room, and it was a completely different style from what she's dressed as well. Kind of looks similar to mine again. So she said she was going to go make me a drink in the kitchen, and I said, okay. Something just wasn't sitting right with me, so I kind of followed behind her without her knowing. So I saw her assembling my drink, and literally, I saw her put 2 pills in there. I don't know what they were, but I'm sure they weren't healthy. So I ran out of the house, and I never looked back. The next day at school, I completely ignored her and told everyone what happened, and everyone started to not like her. Lesson learned, don't trust someone who wanted to be you. Follow for more story times, and follow my Instagram as well. Business account and caption.
The Kardashians are culture vultures. Now, before I explain why, I'd just like to say that I'm not trying to come for the Kardashians, okay? I value my life, and I'm just a small-town girl stating her opinion and fact. So if you don't want to see the truth, that's on you. Now, with all that being said, let's dig in and sip this tea, shall we? So there's no denying that the Kardashians are a beautiful bunch, and I do have to tip my hat off to them and acknowledge their business acumen because they did build an empire. But at what expense? Well, at the expense of people of color, that's what. I'm talking about the time Kim decided to call her shapewear line kimono and allegedly try to trademark the name. I'm talking about the time Kim posted a picture with a traditional Indian headpiece only worn on special occasion. And I'm talking about all the times the Kardashians imitated and profited off of black culture. I'm not even gonna get into what they did to Dizita, Balamley, and Brady because I don't have time, but they have basically built their careers by adopting styles created by black women and other people of color and making them more palatable for society. Think that's all I've got to say? No, there's a part 2. Now let's get something straight. There's a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation, but the Kardashians are constantly blurring the line between the two. And I'm willing willing to bet they know exactly what they're doing. They just choose not to care because remember, Mama Jenner didn't raise no fools. They know that any press is good press. There's no denying that they hold enormous influence, but what's problematic is that what they're doing plays into this long-time fascination with the aesthetic of blackness. They're hailed as trendsetters and innovators, yet their style choices rely on racial performance, and while they profit off of it, the marginalized groups that they borrow from are rarely celebrated by society in the way that they are. Sure, they have an Armenian background, but lest we forget, the two youngest sisters are white. In fact, they have played a huge role in normalizing and popularizing blackfishing because our society lauds ambiguous, exotic-looking white women, yet condemns black women for the same traits. And that's not the end of my expose. No, there's a part 3. The Kardashians fetishize black women's features and adopt their aesthetic without actually having to live the black experience. They've been called out for cultural appropriation multiple times, yet choose to hide behind the fact that they have relationships and children with black men rather than addressing the problem at hand. Having kids with black people doesn't automatically shield you from being culturally insensitive. That's not how it works. Simply wearing something because you like it isn't always okay. We don't live in a post-racial society yet, so in order to appreciate something, it's important to know and understand its history. And the Kardashians all too often decide to sport something or morph into it without acknowledging the historical and racial context of the culture they're taking it from. So you know what? If y'all are interested, I'm willing to do a series on all the styles they've imitated in the past and talk about their origin and history. In fact, y'all can let me know which hairstyle, fashion style, or body style you've seen on a Kardashian that you'd like me to talk about. I think it's high time we start leaning into cultural exchange rather than cultural appropriation, because if the Kardashians won't do it, well, hell, the small town girl will.
Okay, story time. Now y'all better buckle up for this one because there's a lot to it. I'm just gonna start from the beginning. So about 7 years ago when I was in college, I got my first girlfriend. And both of us were so heavily in the closet. After a few months of dating, we told our friends at school, but our family and friends back at home still didn't know. And whenever I would go home to visit, it felt like I was living a double life and I still had so much shame around who I was and my sexuality. And one weekend I decided to go home and visit my parents. My college was only like 45 minutes away. And one of the days my parents left for a few hours, so I invited my girlfriend over. And we were hanging out at my house and then my parents came home. And we were like, oh fuck. So we told my parents that we were meeting friends at the movies. So we left my house and went to the movies, but it was just us, obviously. And after the movies, we wanted to still hang out, but we didn't have anywhere to go. And for some reason, we thought it would be a smart idea to park in an empty Target parking lot at 11 p.m. all alone in my town. And that's when shit goes down. Go to part 2. Ah! Okay, so after my girlfriend and I went to the movies in my town, again, we were still not out yet to our family and friends back at home. We wanted to still hang out, but we had nowhere to go, so we decided to park in an empty Target parking lot at 11 p.m. It was pretty fucking obvious to anyone driving by that we were doing something suspicious, okay? So we go in the back seat of my car. We start taking each other's clothes off. Oh shit! We getting freaky deaky in the back seat, bitch! Yes! And then all of a sudden, we see someone drive up. And we see the red and blue flashing lights. At this point, we're shaking, and not the good kind. So we're freaking out, trying to put our clothes on, trying to button our pants, clothes are flying everywhere, and the cop was like, get out of the car! So I get out of the car, my pants still unbuttoned, and he asks for my ID, and I'm like, oh God, not the ID. If I give him my ID, he's gonna know. So I hand him my ID, and go to part 3. Okay, so, oh my God! After my girlfriend and I were getting it on in the back seat and the cops pulled up, he asked us to get out of the car and then asked for our IDs. And that's when I really started panicking. And I'm like, what do I do? If I give him my ID, he's gonna see my name. So I hand him my ID. And I'm sweating, partly because of the backseat action and also because of what he's about to find out. And he looks at it and he goes silent. And I'm just staring at him like... And he goes, oh, are you related to... And I'm like, yes, I am. And he's like, what's the relation? And I said, that's my dad. My dad was his boss, the chief of police. And I started fucking bawling and I go, please don't tell my dad. He doesn't know about this. And he let us go. And to this day, I still don't know if my dad found out.
I went to NYU, New York University, a university in and of the city. Sorry, don't know what came over me there. And there's a lot of like very cool indie people that go to that school. And my freshman year, I tried really hard to be cool and indie myself. But all of my attempts to do so ended in just complete disaster. Like the one time I hopped the subway turnstile to impress people, I got ticketed. The police caught me. But I think the best story is when I thrifted this old t-shirt, and this t-shirt had a word on it that I wasn't familiar with, but I assumed it was some old brand name. And when I was wearing it out, I was like, oh, I'm so cool wearing my thrifted vintage shirt. But then this girl was like, do you know what your shirt says? And I was like, no. The word on my shirt was fupa, which stands for fat upper pussy area. It refers to when a woman's labia is so large it covers the vaginal hole. But I had already left, like I was late for class. I had to wear it out all day.